Hi, this is Judy from Fox Cities Quilt Company, and this is Sunday from the Sewing Room, where we give you tips, tricks, and a few tutorials to help you with your sewing and quilting projects. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. Today, we're talking about rotary cutters. I have a lot of rotary cutters, and my husband came into my shop and said, or into my space and said, "Why do you have so many rotary cutters?" And I thought that you would like to know too. So this is what I have in my sewing room. I have two Martelli cutters, and the rest of these are all Olfa cutters, and they all do something specific. My Martelli cutters are my favorite because they're ergonomically designed, and I'll show you what that means. Let me just push these out of the way for now and show you that I have two of these. One is my standard cutter that I use for cutting fabric. I really like this cutter, and this one is marked with a star, and this is what I use for everything else, and let me explain that. So I really like the Martelli cutter is my go-to everyday fabric cutter. Because it is ergonomically designed, which means I have my hand in this natural position as opposed to this cutter, which my hand is upright and in a different position. So although I like this cutter, and this is my backup rotary cutter, my everyday go-to is really my Martelli uh, rotary cutter. They're pretty simple to use. First of all, you just roll it a little and it will come unlocked. And you can see that that is unlocked. And just with a flick of your finger, you can lock it again, and you can see that that is locked. So let me show you that again. I just roll it a little bit and it comes unlocked. And then it really does cut like a dream when it's unlocked, and I can cut it. And it cuts very, very nicely. So that is my regular Martelli cutter. The next cutter I have is the other Martelli cutter that has the star on it, and you're wondering, why does that have a star on it? Well, I use this for everything else except for fabric. So for instance, if I'm doing a paper piece pattern, which I made copies of this, and here's the other side, and I taped them together, but I don't want to deal with all this paper, I can come by with my starred cutter and cut the paper. And then I'm not wrecking my fabric blade. The other thing that I use this starred cutter for is to cut down zippers. So again, for everything that isn't fabric, I use this Martelli cutter, and I have marked it so that I know that this one is not for anything other, this is for everything else other than fabric. Now what I have left here are, these are all of my cutters that are by Olfa. Olfa carries a wide variety of cutters in a wide variety of sizes for a wide variety of different applications. So this is the regular 45 millimeter Olfa cutter. And I use this as my backup cutter for my Martelli cutters. So, and it is for fabric only. The next cutter I use quite a bit, and let me put these out of the way, is this small rotary cutter. And this is just a 28 millimeter. Let me make sure that you can see that. It's kind of hard to see. A 28 millimeter blade. So let me compare that to the 45. You can see it's quite a bit smaller. And what I used that one for is, I'm going to show you on this piece of fabric. So if I am using like a curved ruler or something that I have to cut tightly, I will use this small rotary cutter. Let me pull that back and set that right in there and go around, and that is what I use this one for. And I'm struggling because my blade is old and I need to change that one. So that is what I use this one for. Then the other blade that I use, and I honestly don't use it a lot, but it is this Olfa circular cutter. This is pretty cool if you want to cut something in circles, and maybe you don't have an AccuQuilt and you want to get it pretty accurate. So this has increments of sizes. The top sizes, and it's hard to see this, is inches and the bottom is centimeters. And all you do is unscrew this and you can move it to the size you want. And then this is how we turn the blade. And then this bottom part is what gets unscrewed. Let me show you this. And there is a super sharp point in there. And then to open the blade, because the blade, I always keep my blades closed, you just simply pull this open. It's hard to do this upside down. Here we go. You pull that open and now you can see your blade is exposed. So that if you want to make a circle, you can make a circle. And you would hold this here and then this goes around and you can make a circle or a half circle or whatever size that you need. And so there's my little half circle. Okay. Then the other, and that's this rotary cutter, is the circle cutter. Let me put this back together because this one is has two super sharp points and I want to make sure that it is stored safely. So the last thing that I use is this Olfa. It's a craft knife or an art knife. And again, please store all of your rotary cutters safely. And this has a super sharp point on it. And let me show you what I use this one for. Every once in a while, I will cuttle fabric that has a really deep pile on it, or cuttle or minky or fake fur or whatever it is that you're using for your sewing project. So right here on the back, I'm going to cut this from the back because if you use a craft knife or an art knife like this, you can cut through the back without cutting off all of these fibers. So let me show you how that works. So I've drawn a line and I'm basically going to take this and just drag it across that line to make my cut. And see how that it's not so messy then, and I'll just flip this over and get the other side of it. It's not so messy then because you're not cutting all of these thick piles of fiber, and then you can cut to the size that you need. So, and again, I make sure that I am careful on how I store all of my utilities and rotary cutters. So I hope you enjoyed this short but sweet version of Sunday from the Sewing Room. And if you have any questions about rotary cutters or what purpose they serve, just give us a call. And thank you for watching. This is Judy from Fox Cities Quilt Company. Thank you so much. Bye.